welcome back to the Crackheads podcast with myself, Kegs.
And me, Shannon.
And we've got a very special guest on this week.
Hello.
Shade
Hi.
Fairley.
Kegs is really trying his best to get the pronunciation right. Bless him. He's like extra exaggerating it to make sure he gets it right.
Everybody gets it wrong. I'm kind of used to it being wrong now.
Class. So for anyone who is a regular listener, welcome back. We love yous. And for anyone who's new here, this is a podcast for the gals and for the gays and for anyone who's up for a bit of crack.
Yeah, just think of this as your crazy group chat with your very dysfunctional big brother and big sister.
So yeah, I'm buzzing to have you on. I met you at Emerge last weekend.
Yes.
And we ended up staying like most of the evening together. We had such a gig.
Yeah,
You did both days, didn't you?
I did both days last year as well. Like my tactic is like to not take it too far on the Saturdays. So Kegs was out till 9 o'clock in the morning. I was in bed by 3 because I was like, no, I have to go again tomorrow. I don't want to like sleep in or
And
be too
ruin it for
hungover.
yourself.
Exactly.
I couldn't go the second day. I was dead, but I didn't even tell that in last week's episode because I was like, alright, I'm gonna not tell I was up to 9 a.m. because I always end up saying like I end up staying out all night. I'm like,
My
I'm gonna stop
bad.
saying that. Oopsies.
Yeah, because
But
I was like, I wasn't even that hungover, and Sunday was just a bit tired, and he was like jealous, and I was like,
I died for 2 days.
Did you do both days?
I just done one. I always kind of thought I was only going to do one because I'd seen the weather in the second day,
Yeah.
and I was like,
See, I saw loads of people making TikToks saying like the weather ruined it. I was in my element. Maybe it's because I don't have hair though. It
Yeah.
could be because I'm bald. This is the thing, because my friend brought an umbrella and all, and I was like, I'll just run because I don't have hair anyway. And then, see, by the end of it, it was raining, and it was like that mizzly rain that gets you soaking. But everybody was just vibing at
Loving
at
life.
the main stage.
Class.
Fuck up.
What'd
See,
you-
I actually wanted to go the second day. I love BLK, you see.
Yeah.
I'm a heavy techno gal.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
that's the first day I left after Hannah Lang. Patrick Toppin came on and I was like, snooze, goodbye. But I
Oh my
love
god.
Because that was us. I bumped into you in the sort of the VIP tent, and we were like,
Yeah.
should we go to Patrick Topping? And then we heard it for like 3 seconds. We're like, no, let's go to Amelia
Yeah.
Lenz.
Oh yeah,
That's
no,
right.
Amelia Lenz was amazing.
Yeah, she was
Why
sick.
can I not even remember? Oh my god! And seeing that VIP tent, I wasn't even meant to be there. The bouncers were like cracking up, right? So my friend, I wasn't originally going to Emerge because I was trying to find a way to get there. But my rave friends, one of them was off work sick, and she was going to be on holiday when Emerge was happening, and then my other friend is pregnant. So I was like, right, how am I going to do this? These are my rave people. What am I going to do? And then me and Ella met like through like TikTok, and she was like, oh my god, come with us. So I was like, actually, like, is that weird? And she was like, no, for sure. So I bought a ticket, but her tickets were VIP, but there was no VIP coming up whenever I
sold
went
out.
to buy
Yeah.
them. Yeah. So I was like, every time we were going to the VIP tent, my friend's friend was one of the bouncers, and he was just letting me go in. But like, I wasn't even really buying drinks or anything. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I was kind of already fucked. So like, it was just because I didn't want to lose my friends, especially with no contact lenses in. But see, on the second day, I was happy enough to wait outside because they were going to the toilets, right? And one of the bouncers was like, no, you can't get in without a VIP wristband. Like, I just, like, I was that drunk that one of my friends was in front of me, the other one was behind me. He was showing his wristband and going, yeah, and I was like, what? Where are we going? You know, like, just to try and
Pretended.
like squeeze on through. It worked a couple of times, and then when his friend wasn't there, one of the bouncers wouldn't let me in. That was grand. I was like, I'll just wait here. I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm just chilling. And then my friend was like, I'm gonna lie and say you're on your period and go over and like, be like, she just needs to change her pad. He's gonna know that I was lying now. But he got really in his feels about it, because then I was like, I was happy enough to just wait, but he let us in. I was like, right, okay, well, if
Class.
you're gonna let me in because he lied, no problem. We went in, went to the toilets, but then they met their other friends, so we were in there for ages. The next time they wanted to go in, he was like, she's lying about bleeding and all, get the fuck. And I was like, number one, well, you know I'm lying now because I'm here saying it, but it wasn't even my lie. And like, why do you care?
Yeah.
it
Why
makes
did
no
you actually care?
difference.
You can't tell whether I'm bleeding or not. What?
Yeah.
You know that now because I'm lying, but you didn't know if I was lying or not.
Yeah.
Why were you all up in your feels about that? Like, I'm one person, literally just didn't want to lose my mates because I
Yeah.
had no contact lenses in. Like, it's not that deep.
And why are you getting yourself really worked up about that
Yeah, it
situation? Like, it's
It
It
not
doesn't
that
make a
deep.
difference to
He
him.
was furious, and then the other bouncer beside him was like, go on in. I was like, you're a legend. You're a legend.
Yeah, you're
because I
side.
literally just didn't want to lose my mates. Like, I wasn't even banned.
The first day when we went, I was so basically a gal who I know had a spare VIP wristband ticket for her friend couldn't go or something. She was like, "Oh my god, just come with us." Da, da, da.
Yeah.
So I went, but I was coming with my friend who was leaving, and she didn't have a VIP ticket.
Yeah.
So when we were going to get our VIP wristbands, I just said to the girl at the thing, I was like, "Here, we've just 4 of us here. One of them doesn't have VIP wristband. Is there any chance we could like buy our VIP wristband?" So we just give the girl 20 quid, and she gave us the VIP wristband for her.
Oh my god, I
And it
should have
worked.
just done that.
Good,
To be
give it.
fair, there was people that I knew that were coming up to me and they were like, do you know anyone can get us a wristband? So I asked someone, and they were actually selling the wristbands at the merch tent.
Oh my god.
Serious?
Yeah, so they were actually
Oh,
selling
I
them.
had
You
no
didn't
idea.
need
But
to
I
lie
don't
about
think,
being on
I
your
think
period.
unless you asked, they weren't like, advertising
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
Do you know what I
yeah, I
mean?
suppose
But they were
wouldn't.
selling the wristbands at the thing. So if
Yeah.
anyone's ever going before,
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to get
Or
VIP
going again.
next year. Like, I'm just going to buy it like when I'm buying
When
my
it
ticket
comes out.
because it wasn't available because I bought my ticket that late because
Last
I was
minute.
like trying to work out a way to get there because I was like I can't miss this. It's the highlight of my year. It's the highlight of my summer. I love it.
Yeah.
But definitely going to buy one next year, and if they're fucking sold out, then I'll just go to the merch tent.
Yeah, 100%.
Now we're advertising
May
that.
as well.
they'll be numb now.
What day did you like better?
The Saturday for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Saturday. I think I was just more in my element on the Saturday. It's usually the Sunday because Sunday's like the mad one because I always book the week after off work. So I'm like, I can go super hard on the Sunday. And I did. Like, I wasn't home till 10 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, you did?
But
You got to meet a second night.
no, yeah, and I had the best time ever, but I was in some party afterwards, and I went to one party, and then I went to another party, and everybody they were all like legends, we were vibing, but this fella was talking to me, and he was like, it was really, really, like, good conversation, because I hate small talk, like,
Yeah,
Me too.
where
hate
do you
small
live?
talk.
What school did you go
Me
to?
too.
Blah, blah, blah. I can't stand it, but he was getting really, like, I'll be like, tell me about your childhood trauma.
Yeah.
And then, like, he was one of them people where he actually wanted to know, and I was
Yeah.
like, I will tell you, but then I started to slowly get to the point where I was like, like, just like lying there. like,
Social battery's
Social
dead.
battery.
yeah, I was like, I needed to go to bed, but I didn't even want to leave. And like, I could have enjoyed it more if I hadn't went so hard. But the Saturday, I think because I was like vibing the whole time and
Yeah.
bouncing about the place and just having gigs,
Yeah.
then I think the Saturday was my favourite day. And the Saturday, I liked the music better as well. There was loads of good artists, but I think my favourite DJs, like my favourite vibes were on the Saturday for sure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sick. Yeah, no, 'cause I remember even when I met you and then we were walking back, me and you were having like really good conversations on
Yeah.
the way back and stuff. Yeah, I was like, I love this guy. I was like saying, oh my God, I think you're like so intelligent and I love your videos. I was like, yes. And then that's why I was like, you come on the freaking podcast, let's go.
For sure.
That'd be
love
class.
it.
And then we actually remember I spoke about this on last week's episode.
Yeah.
It was you who found that poor girl who was by herself and then we ended up looking after her for
Oh my
ages.
God, yeah.
It was hectic.
I really hope she's okay. The same thing, we were on a rescue mission on the Sunday as well.
Really?
Yeah. Oh my God. So the Saturday, did he tell you about that? Oh, well, yeah, you're speaking about it. So the Saturday we were on a rescue mission. I can't see. I saw a girl on her own. I was like, I cannot leave her. Like, I was like, sorry, I've roped you all into this, but she's completely on her own. She doesn't even know her own name. Well, she did, but like, just like,
Bad
she didn't
way.
even, yeah, it was bad crack. And it was dangerous. And then on the Sunday, we were in, I don't even know, was it the DFO tent? Like, I don't even know. We're in a tent anyway. And this girl was like, people were shining their torches in front of us. And my friend was beside me and was like, what's going on there? And then I turned my torch on to be like, oh, what did you lose? I'll help you. Like, what is that? And they didn't drop anything. Their friend was on the floor, right? And I was like, is she okay? So I bent down beside her and I was like, are you all right? Do you want me to help you up? Like, you need to jump up or else like your friends are all going to get kicked out. Are you all right? And she was like, I can't stand up. And I was like, what do you mean you can't stand up? And she was like, something's not right. Something's not right. But she was being sincere. And then my friend's boyfriend is a bouncer. Well, my friend and I too. He was standing behind us and he was like, what's going on? What's going on? This big girl couldn't stand up. But I was like, did you take anything? She was like, no. And then I was like, I think she's been spiked.
Oh, shit.
And my friend was like, do you want me to throw her over my shoulder and we'll take her out there? We had to take her across the way to like this tent where there was like medics. Then they were all allowed to go in. I got locked outside. They were like, you can't all go in there. But I was the only one. I was like, since I'm the one that can't fucking see. And I was like, don't close the gate, please. I don't want to lose my friends. But the medics helped her and they let her friend who was with her stay with her. So like that was good. She wasn't on her own.
At least she wasn't on her own.
Yeah,
That's
somebody
what we were just
commented.
talking about in the episode before about how important it is to make sure you stay in groups. Like, so important.
Oh, for sure. It was them too. So I'm glad her mate got to stay with her. But somebody was commenting on my TikTok being like, I seen you on a rescue mission. And I was like, 2 days in a row. But like, I couldn't leave somebody. Like, I got
you wouldn't be
spiked
able
on
to
my
settle.
18th birthday
You wouldn't
and-
be able to
no,
settle.
I wouldn't be able to sleep.
But you got
like,
spiked on your 18th birthday, did
I
you?
did, yeah. Oh my God, it was so bad. Do you know what? Do you know how I know I got spiked? Because I had literally like 3 drinks. And don't get me wrong, I am a lightweight and I've always been a lightweight. But I was out and I went to the bar with my friends. My friends were dancing and I went to the bar and it was like 2 seconds away from where they were dancing. So it was like, stay here, I'll be back in a minute, right? I goes over to the bar and the barman nodded at me as if to be like, what's yours? And I went to say to him, but there was a fella beside me and he had just been handed 2 drinks by the barman. And when he went to give me one, I was like, he's literally just got them. There wasn't enough time for him. I watched the barman handing them. It's like, there wasn't enough time for him to put anything in them. And I was only 18, do you know what I mean? So it was a wee bit stupid. But I took it off him. Then later on, well, the next day, I realised he had his hand over the cup like that. So I was like, there could have been something on the inside of his hand because before
my
I knew
God.
it, I ended up in the bathroom. Don't remember how I got there. Then a girl who I'm now friendly with, like we've been friends for years now because of this. Every time I see her, she's the type of person who, like, I wouldn't go out with her or anything, but I would stop in the street if I saw her rather than just saying hi to her. She found me behind the door in the bathroom. The bouncer said this wee girl has gone in there about an hour ago. She hasn't come back out. I'm black and she's black, so they just assumed that all black people are related. And they were like, no, literally, they were like, is that your cousin or something? And she was like, yeah, okay, right.
My
She
God.
didn't know me, right? But I wake up on somebody's random, like this random sofa, but it was the same shaped house, like living room, kitchen, everything, as like somebody that I was seeing when I was like 17. So I was like, this is the same shaped house, but this isn't his living room. And I was going, did he get his living room done up? Like, where the fuck am I? Because it was the exact same layout, right?
Yeah.
I woke up, this woman comes down the stairs and I'm like, I'm really sorry, where the fuck am I? This wee girl had put jammies on me, put a blanket over me on the sofa.
Oh,
She
great
brought me
pet.
home.
Fair,
She
nice.
explained all this to me. So basically, I was throwing up. I remember throwing up, but I couldn't see anything. It was all black.
Shit.
I could just hear voices, right? She said this fella had walked past when she's trying to feed me water. She's feeding me water, I'm throwing up, feeding me water, I'm throwing up. This fella walked past and went, oh, I know her, I'll just take her. Her and her mate are on each side of me, right? And she goes, do you indeed? What's her name then? And he just started mumbling shit and she went, get the fuck away from her now.
Oh my God.
So now, forever, I've been like, because obviously I'm 27 now, so that's 9 years ago. And I'm like, was that the fella that gave me the drink? And I'll never
Could've been.
know. So I'm wondering, was there something in that drink? Because I was fine. People were saying afterwards, the day after, they were like, oh, she just drank too much. People who were supposed to be
But
my
it's
friends.
different. I
No.
got spiked like years and years ago in of all places Newcastle in County Down.
Oh my God.
I'm never flipping out of the place now. But like apparently after this happened, it was near Christmas, and then after
Yeah.
this, because all my friends are down there was a series of this happening.
Yeah.
But like I've been obliterated drunk.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
it's completely different. Like you said, what happened to me? I was inside. Now I'd had a drink in the house before we left, and
Yeah.
then one drink in there
Yeah,
that I
yeah.
hadn't finished. And we walked out towards the smoking area, and I turned to my friend and I went, something's not right here, come out the front with me. And what happened to me, it was like my knees and my elbows locked, right? I was on the
Oh my
ground,
God.
right, sitting, and I couldn't like lift my head up. But like you said, I could hear everything, but I had no control over what I was doing.
Shit.
Yeah.
So I could hear my friends, and I was trying to communicate with them. You need to get an ambulance. You need to get an
Yeah.
ambulance. But I couldn't. I was able to get my hands out like long and
Yeah.
type 999 and give the
Oh
phone
my
to my
God.
friend.
What?
The ambulance
fuck?
took ages to come. But like whenever they tested my alcohol level, that's the first thing they do in case
Yeah.
you're just blocked. And I was sober enough to drive.
Oh my God,
Uh-huh.
shit. So that's
Oh
what you
my
know.
God.
So that's how. And the next morning, then I woke up and it was like, I was like, it's a weird. It's not even like
Did
a
they test you
hungover
for drugs
feeling.
then?
They did at the time, so it was, I can't remember the name of whatever it was. There was something in my
Yeah.
system, like a
Shit.
substance,
Yeah.
they even said, like, it's not even as if it's like, you know, like they could suspect maybe I'd actually taken drugs because it
Yeah.
wasn't something, it was
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a chemical thing that
Like it's
Oh
not
my
normal.
God.
I can't remember what it was. But then the next day, it was like, it wasn't even like a hangover feeling, it was
Oh
different.
no, yeah,
it was
completely
different.
yeah.
So you just, and from that moment, if I even have like, I don't care if I waste a tenner.
yeah.
If I have any suspicion that someone's been near my drink or I've walked past someone,
yeah.
it'll be binned.
Oh no,
Fucking
I'm
hell.
the same,
I'm sorry,
yeah.
but what the fuck is wrong with these men that
No,
are
I
going around
know.
spiking we
No, I
girls? Like,
know.
absolutely fucking sort your shit out.
See, even whenever we brought that girl over to the medics at Emerge, one
Yeah.
of the bouncers said there's people going in and out there with needles, and I was like,
What?
what? I was like, Cusins, I don't know if I want to go back in the tent because she just said that.
That's fucked.
And you know,
To be fair, I remember when I was in Ibiza, a girl that I was working with in Ocean Beach ended up in hospital for like ages. You had to go on like what's the word? Some sort of like medication or drip or something to stop her
Yeah.
from getting AIDS because she was in the rave and amnesia and someone jabbed a needle in her with something in it.
oh my
And
God.
she was obviously spiked that way. And I was like, that is so fucked. Like, who does that?
And like for what?
For what?
For what? Yeah. Because like when you think about me getting spiked on my 18th birthday, I'm lying behind the fucking bathroom door. People stole stuff out of my bag. They stole money. They stole my lip liner, my
Whilst you were
lipstick.
unconscious in the
like,
toilet?
It's like pure stealing
What?
a tester from the shop. But like then these wee girls were helping me obviously. So he didn't even get me in the end. So you just wasted your money because obviously you had to pay for whatever you put in my
So
drink.
crazy.
You're spending money
Sickos.
for what?
Sickos.
Yeah,
But
they
it's
are.
just that type of evil that we'll never understand.
Yeah.
Like, because you'll never understand how that kind of person's brain is working because it's so far from the normal for the likes
For
of us.
sure, yeah. We
Yeah.
just
You
know
don't
what I mean?
understand it because we're nothing like that. Yeah.
I think I probably, because I'm a male, maybe I have probably a bit more, what's the word? I'm not concerned as much about it, but
Yeah.
obviously there are still males who get spiked, so I just
Yeah.
maybe should be a bit more careful with myself because I never really think about getting spiked.
I
And I know
getcha,
girls
yeah.
are obviously a lot more cautious of their safety and stuff because
Yeah.
there's a lot of like men preying on girls and stuff, but
Yeah, it's crazy.
it's still like fucked.
No, it really, really is. There was one time I was going into a Telegraph building. It was a couple of years ago, and I had, one of them cups that has the lid on it and the straw poking out, but there was nothing in it. I brought it because, do you remember that time? There was a period of time a few years ago where people were putting needles and all in people, and it was on the news, and like loads of people were getting spiked here, and it was mostly in England.
Yeah.
But then like people started to get spiked here, and it was like I was going, oh my god, I hope they don't bring them needles and all here.
Because there was loads of places at that stage, remember bringing out like the cup covers and stuff and all that. It was like being promoted to use things like that.
I was going in and everybody was throwing their drinks out, into the big bins, and the bouncer was like, "You have to throw that out, love." And I was like, I opened it and went, no, there's nothing in that. I just want them to put my, double vodka Rebel or whatever inside this instead of a normal cup. And he was like, nah, you can't, doesn't matter if there's nothing in it. And I was like, it's literally a plastic, it's not even glass, it's a plastic cup. And he was like insisting no, and I was like, but why? Like, I'm afraid of getting spiked.
Yeah.
And then he called down his manager, and his manager was a woman, and he was like, she can't bring that in, sure she can't. And she was like, is there anything in it? And I was like, no. And she was like, it's fine, go ahead.
Work away.
Like,
Fair.
Nice. Yeah.
She probably understood a bit better.
Yeah,
for
100%.
sure. Yeah.
They probably should have like rules that you're allowed to bring stuff like that, or even like buy
think
cups like
now
that in the venue.
I seen, I think it was Lauren Whelan.
Yeah.
I seen her doing a video. She was going to EP and she was doing a video saying that she was bringing one and to recommend to bring one because obviously, first of all, it's like just a wee bit more like hygienic. It's your own thing and whatever.
Yeah.
And obviously to protect herself, she'd like one of them, as you say, the wee twisty one with the straw coming up.
That's a good idea.
It's a good idea.
But then even at those like at Belsonic and immersion stuff, they would give you like a bottle, but they take the lid off it because they don't want you to be able to throw it.
Is that why? I always wondered why.
Apparently
don't want
so,
you to
which
throw
makes
it.
no sense because sure, you could throw the full bottle.
Yeah, you could throw whatever you want. You could throw any.
Oh my god, at James Arthur last night, there was these wee girls in front of us and they were definitely blocked.
Yeah.
And every like 5 minutes, they were throwing stuff to the front of the crowd, like roll of toilet paper, next thing throwing their bottles of water, soaking everyone.
People
Like,
are just
why are you
messers.
doing that?
Was that good? I seen your story just before I came in here, but like, did you get somebody to come with you? Or
No,
did you just
I
do
ended
it
up
on your
going
own?
on my own. I posted my story
That's so
I got
good.
2 tickets last second. I was like, fuck it, I'm going to go on my own. And then as soon as I walked in, I met a few girls who knew me from socials, and then I would stick with them.
unreal.
Had a gig. It was good crack. A gig? I remember in Belfast people
I
too
know
much. I
you
never even say
always
that.
say gag. No, I actually noticed it in the last
Gag?
episode. I was like,
I
he
always
never
say
used to
gag.
say him. He never used to say it. And I'm like,
I'm surrounded myself with too many Belfast people.
But that is the gig. See, even going on your own. I remember the first time I went to the cinema on my own, I was like, oh god. I really wanted to do it because I love like the idea of just sitting there
Your
on
own company.
And like I have all my snacks and like I used to go to the cinema with my friend years ago, and I would be scundered because I would be eating everything, and he would have a bottle of water, and I'd be like, will you not even?
or
Like, come
even
on.
sometimes if you're sharing with someone, you're in your head going, am I eating too much of that? Like,
I do that,
Literally.
yeah. I'm like, have I had all this popcorn? Like, sorry, do you want? Sure. And then they're like, no, and I'm like, but I'm going to eat it all.
And you kind of just like have your own space sometimes. Like on Monday I went to cinema on my own, but I went on my own because I was hungover, could not be arsed being around anyone, didn't want to have to make conversation with anyone.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm just going to go sit on my own and just relax.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
I love
It's
going
so
to
good.
cinema on my own now, but a
Yeah.
concert is something I don't know if I'm that far into my like anxiety kind of journey to
I'd
go
be
to a
the same.
concert on my
I
own.
think with the
I'd probably
concerts-
get towards the gate and be like, actually, I don't even want to go. Like, do you know what? The concert wasn't even going to be that
Whenever
good
I was
anyway.
traveling, so I was traveling for years, and but a lot of times I was completely on my own in these foreign countries. So I would have went on like nights out on my own. Obviously, it's really you're anxious going in and stuff, but once you have a few drinks, you meet new people,
And
you're
you meet
fine.
people,
And like
yeah.
I went to Dermot Kennedy concert in Singapore on my own, met people there,
God.
and like it's fine in foreign countries, I feel, but for some reason in Belfast, I was so resistant to go into things on my own. I think it's because you're just used to going with friends, and then also because you might know people there, they'd be like, oh, why you're on your own? You might think you're a weirdo,
Yeah.
And last night I was like, I kind of want to go. No one wants to go because everyone's like working or busy and stuff.
Yeah.
Fuck it, I'm just gonna go on my own. And I was anxious walking in, but once I was in there, I was fine.
Grand.
You
I
were fine.
saw a girl posting a video that she was going to emerge on her own. I'm not sure. I think she lived like somewhere else and she was getting like a bus up or whatever to go. And all I was thinking was, emerge on your own is heavy, but
Yeah.
fair play to you because it's something I'd really love to be able to do, but I'm just not there yet.
Yeah.
I would love to be able, but like, see, especially because Belfast, I think it's very judgmental place. And don't get me wrong, I talk about other people being judgmental. I can be judgmental. I'm only human. Do you know what I mean?
We're all
But,
judgmental in ways.
yeah, nobody's perfect. But I think people would do that, like really, really heavy. Like, why is she here on her own? Oh my God, has she got no mates? Like,
Yeah.
and like obviously you try not to care about what people think about you, but just whenever people, when you see people like pointing and like talking,
Intimidating.
and, like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
It's
oh
intimidating.
God, especially
I
if you're on
actually
your own.
find younger ones more intimidating. Like, see,
Yeah.
people similar age to me. I don't really get it. See, young, like teenagers, like a crowd of 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds makes me feel sick.
Me too.
Nerves wrecked. I don't know
Yeah.
what's so intimidating about them, but I'm like, you scare the shite out of me.
Yeah.
I actually got
That's me. Yeah.
got a lovely wee crowd the other day. Though I was telling you, I went Zen for food, and Kieran had went to the toilet and I came on out.
Yeah.
And there was like this wee group of wee smicks. Like I love a wee smick. I think they're a gag, especially like.
She's like, I mean, like the last podcast, I was like, is smick a right word? Am I allowed to say the word
Oh,
smick?
but you
I was
know
like,
the way
I'm not sure.
you've got bad wee bastards, but there's also like nice.
Yeah,
wee,
yeah.
They were just, they were lovely. But when I first seen them, they were on their bikes, and I was like, oh fuck.
Oh no, it's so intimidating.
I was nervous, and then they ended up being, they were so lovely. Do you know, like a wee gag, and they
Yeah,
were
yeah.
like, I think I had a wee vape because I was having a wee drink and all, and I was like, and they were like, yo, Blondie, and I was like, oh, here we go, and then they were like. Go, can I have a wee puff? I was like, no, you're too young. You're
Yeah.
too young. Please, I promise, mate. Can my mate have your Snapchat? I was like, no, we cannot.
Oh my
But
God.
they were funny. You know, it was all harmless. And then when Kieran came out, they were like, you know, hyping him up. And then they were like,
Yeah.
but you're punching, love. You're you know, you're lucky to have him and all. They were just lovely. But at first, when I seen them, I was like, oh my God, worst nightmare. Young teenagers. Oh my God.
No, it was me.
They do. If I see a
Yeah.
group of teenagers walking towards me in the street, I might just cross the road. Do you know what I mean? Like a group
No,
of lads.
I do.
Yeah.
Or else sometimes I'll like ring my cousin or something to be on the phone. I think
Yeah.
they're more intimidating these days. Like whenever you're younger, well, it was intimidating when you were younger as well, whenever you were the same age as them. But I think these days, kids are more like out there
They've
than
no
I would have been.
filter.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whenever
No
I was a
filter.
child. So I'd be like, what are they going to say? Because
Yeah.
on one hand, you could get nice ones like that, but then most of the time I am expecting them to be like, baldy or something. And I'm like, oh, please leave me alone. Although I don't care. People expect me to care whenever they call me bald. And I'm like, bro, like I get two skin fades.
Like, you do it
obviously,
yourself.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
you're aware.
I do it to myself. I am
Love that.
voluntarily bald. But like,
When
I
did you decide to start shaving your head?
I shaved my head in my mum did it in
Slay.
2020. It was mid-lockdown.
Yeah.
It was mid-lockdown, so I still lived with my mummy at the time, and I was lying in my bed. I always wanted to shave my head. My auntie always said that I should do it because she
You
thought
suit
it
it
would suit
so
us.
much.
So much.
It looks
so
sick.
much.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. She said that I should do it for years and years, and I hadn't cut my hair in 9 years. Like I had an afro.
Really?
And yeah, it's very, very afro. It was like the longest it had ever been because I hadn't cut it in 9 years.
Yeah.
And I was lying in my bed. It was 3 o'clock in the morning because my sleep schedule was fucked in the lockdown. And I was lying there and I was looking at all these girls, you know, on like Instagram, like just searching like all these girls that had like cool designs in their hair, like green, but their hair was shaved, or like blue or pink. And I was like, I think I might do this now because I'm
Sick.
never ever going to do it. Like, say if I don't do it after 9 years of shaving my head or not shaving or cutting my hair, it's going to be another 9
It'll be
years.
even
And
longer.
then I'm going to be like, well, I don't want to cut it off now. So I was like, it's now or never. I went into my brother's room because I knew he was awake because his sleep schedule was fucked as well. And I showed him and I was like, should I shave my head? And he went, no, what? And I was like, right then I'm going to do it.
Right, yeah, that's me. My sister says, city rife. I'm like, right, I'm fucking wearing that every day of
He
the
was
week.
like, no, why would you do that? And then the next day I said to my mum, I was like, will you shave my head? And she was like, I mean, yeah, but like, are you sure you want me to do it? Because she knew I always wanted to do it, but she was like riddled at the thought of her doing it in case I was like, I
You didn't like it, then it was her
Yeah.
fault.
She was like, oh my God, this is my fault. And then I had to like pause game because I was going to do it that day. But I said to people that I was doing it, and they were like, you should raise money for this. And I was like,
Oh,
here,
sick.
right enough, because like, I wanted to do it, but at the same time, it was terrifying. So it was like, it would be a waste.
Yeah.
To raise
my
money
God,
for it.
nice.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I sent the money to, it was only about maybe like £450 because it was just for the next week, I think, until we got paid, because people in work were like, can you wait till we get paid?
Yeah,
I have no money,
yeah.
I have no money. And I was like, yeah. So I think it was like the next week or something we were getting paid. It was around £450 or maybe like 500, I'm not sure.
Class.
And I sent it to the hospice because they were like crying out for funds at the time because I think they're
Very
like charity
good.
funded.
Amazing.
So I just sent it there, but it's been shaved ever since. I thought it was only
I
going to
love
be
that.
like a year, but
Temporary.
it's been 4 years.
And has it always been like similar? Have you done any colours or anything?
I have. It has been a million different shades of pink. It has been neon green, you know, like Grinch
Love.
green.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to do that again.
Like
at
Frank
Christmas.
Ocean?
Yeah, like it has
Slay.
been pure green. It has been orange. It has been a couple of shades of blue. It has been a lot of shades of blonde. It's been ginger. It's been brown again. It was brown for a wee while.
I suppose because it's so short, a colour only really would
yeah.
last because you get it cut off again so quick, so you
Exactly,
can
yeah.
you can change it and it'll be back to normal in a few weeks.
I took the piss with the bleaching though. Like I was ended up bleaching my hair twice a week, and like it was fine because it was getting cut off again in
Yeah.
a couple of days. But it was so annoying.
Would it hurt your scalp?
Do you know what? I think my scalp just died off a wee bit because like it was so like it was pure, it was crispy. Like see if I run my hands through my hair, it was like as if I had like dandruff. I didn't even. It was just like my head was so dry that you would see like the dry skin just like snow, and I was like, I need to knock this in the head. It was so much effort. See, even if I was going out the night before, like it wasn't even just your everything shower. It was like, fuck, I have to bleach my hair.
Okay,
And then
fair.
I would end up doing it like 1 o'clock in the morning. No, like, and then you're just sitting there on the edge of your bed, like I can't even fucking lie down because there's bleach on my head. So I'm just sitting there waiting for the bleach to cook.
Yeah.
It was a melt, like.
Effort, yeah.
Yeah.
I know you should definitely make a TikTok showing all your different hairstyles. I'd love to see that.
Oh,
I don't even
yeah.
know if I have photos of them all, but I will try and find,
find
some
them.
of them.
That'd be
yeah.
sick.
Yeah,
That
no,
would
that'd
be
You know what
good.
I'm just thinking? We started off this podcast talking about a marriage. We've just rambled on. We haven't even introduced you really.
I know we do this all the time. To be fair, so we
fine.
usually say like, "This is our guest. Give us a wee quick
Yeah.
introduction." The first thing people will be like, "It's like, hello, my name's Shannon. I'm 28. I was going to say 29, not yet." That's always the go-to. But just
Yeah.
give us a wee brief rundown.
Well, usually when I'm on TikTok, I will say, girls, gays, nays, ladies, and mental men. Welcome to the shit show.
I love when you say that.
I love it.
I don't know where it came from.
Mental
and that's
men
just like a
so
wee
funny,
tagline.
like so funny.
I thought there was going to be all like men in my comments being like, why are you calling men mental? But my name is Shade Fairley. Recently I've been saying my full name, Sinead Shade Fairley. I don't know why. I never really called myself Sinead, but I am 27 years old. And I
Girl,
started
don't make
doing-
that face. I'm older.
I'm 27 as well.
No, but like it's
I
because
feel
I'm
shit.
not used to
I
being
know.
27 because I only turned 27 in June, and I'm like, oh.
Yeah, you're 2 months older than me. I'm 27 in August there.
It's when you say you feel fine, then you say it out loud and you go,
Yeah.
No,
"Fuck."
it's when you said a minute ago 18 was 9 years ago. I was like,
No,
oh
I
my
know. I'm
god.
like, oh, Jesus Christ, yeah.
You know what I've just realised? I've accidentally put a sparkling water into your water by
I
accident.
love sparkling water.
Oh, yeah, sorry
yeah,
then.
I'm a freak. I love sparkling water, and everybody hates me for it. No, whenever I tasted that, I was like, delicious. I love it. I started doing TikToks about, is that like 6 months ago maybe? Because it was February. Because I have a friend. He's like actually a really, really good friend, but he's from Fiji. He's in Fiji right now, but he usually lives in Oxford. He's over in Fiji taking care of his granny. And I used to post stuff all the time on my Instagram story, and it was forever like shit posting or like just talking shit. But then like you either love it or you hate it. It's the same as me. You either love me or you hate me, because I feel like some people think I'm very likable, but I think I'm very dislikable. And he would think it's an absolute gig, especially because of like my accent, because he has an English accent because he like lives in Oxford most of the time.
Yeah.
So he would be like, oh my god, this is a gig. You need to start a podcast.
Does he say this is a gag?
Oh no, well, he doesn't.
This is a gag.
No,
This is such a
literally.
gag.
He'd be like, oh, this is lit, fam. Like, he doesn't even talk like that. But his slang, he always has to explain his slang to me, because I'm like, what does that mean?
What's that? Is that a compliment or a
Yeah,
negative?
like, people would comment like, she's laying on my TikTok, and I'd screenshot it and be like, what is this mean? Is this good? Is this bad? But he was saying to me, you should do something, because like I think you're so funny. And I was like, but you just think my accent's funny. You don't actually like, it's because of the accent you think it's funny. And then like I got locked out of my Instagram for so fucking long. It was like a year or something. So then I wasn't overly posting. Whenever I got back in there, I wasn't overly posting. I was still posting my stories, but I've only really started posting actual posts again. But I started doing the TikToks as exposure therapy in February, because I have really bad anxiety. You wouldn't know, because I'm really good at hiding it. Like I deserve an Oscar. I'm really fucking good at hiding it. But I was like, I need to face something that actually gives me anxiety in order to kind of combat this.
Yeah.
So that's why I started making them. And then he was like, look at you go. Like, what the fuck? Because in February I had like 600 or something followers, because I never really posted. I would post the odd one, you know, of my dog or something.
Yeah.
But now it's like 21,000 or something.
Class.
because I've
Unreal.
just been talking shit. And this is the thing. I think people really appreciate it when you're literally just yourself talking shit on the internet, especially because you're shouting there and there's like a clothes horse or something behind you, and you're going, using Muncie, yes, this is a gig, I got this off TikTok shop. And then they're like, I actually want to buy it because she's from down the road. And I'm like,
Yeah.
But I say this all the time. I have a thing, you know, like people's always like, I hate our accent. I don't.
I
I
like it.
don't.
Yeah,
I
I
like
bet.
our accent.
Yeah, I
I
like
say
it.
this all the time. Like, even we were talking one time about like turn offs and stuff and turn ons and blah, blah, blah. I was like, I love a proper Northern Irish accent. Like, my boyfriend's full culture, and I'm like, you know, people's like, I love it. I love it. And I love watching and consuming people that talk like us.
Yeah,
Because I
me
find
too.
it comforting.
And more relatable
Homely.
too.
Exactly. I think
Yeah.
it's more relatable. See, like I was saying this recently, when you're scrolling down your FYP, mine would have been like, I had to unfollow loads of like, you know, American influencers and English influencers and all, because you would be scrolling down your FYP all the time. It would be like people in these like $6 million penthouses, and I was sitting in the fucking psych ward like, oh my god, this is miserable. Just like scrolling down and seeing people living their pure best lives. And now I see so many more people just from here, and they're
Yeah.
literally, you know, like could be sitting in a council house, and I'm like, yes, I'm gonna follow you to fuck.
Yeah.
Like I get you. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's so much better.
It's
so
what you
much-
relate to. It's what you
Exactly.
relate to,
Yeah.
100%. Like, the thing is, the entertainment industry in general is so saturated with the rich and famous.
It really is.
So
yeah.
to see someone, as you say, sitting in their normal
Yeah.
everyday house in their
Exactly.
everyday clothes, looking like
Yeah.
a normal person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or half
It's
the time I'm
nice.
sitting like with a towel on my head in my house
Yeah.
coat or something because I'm
Yeah.
like, people appreciate that I'm just being me. So
Yeah.
like, I don't even care. But half the time people are like, why do you have a towel on your head? Because you have no hair. But it's just a habit. But it's so much better just to see real shit rather than the constant unattainable things. Like I'm never going to be a millionaire in my $6 million penthouse, although I would fucking love that. But I mean, it's realistically never going to happen to me.
Yeah.
So I just love to consume real
But
stuff.
do
that I
you
can
not
relate to.
find like your whole purpose of starting it was to obviously try and combat some anxieties?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it's worked?
It really has. Don't get me wrong. There's obviously anxieties that come with
Yeah.
it because you get, I do have haters and like that's fine. I think it's fair for everybody not to like me because I don't like everybody.
Yeah.
Not everybody is going to be
Everyone's
your
the
cup
same,
of tea and I'm not
exactly.
going to be everybody's cup of tea and that's fine. You do get haters and sometimes people will say things that are quite anxiety provoking and I'll go, oh dear. And other times I'm like, you could come up to me and go, you're an ugly, stupid bitch. And I'd be like, cool, I don't care. But if you say something, that
Triggers
it's
you.
a nerve,
Trigger.
I'm like, oh, I don't know about that one. Like somebody mentioned the other week, they said something about my mental health issues being self-diagnosed, and I was like, actually, I'm diagnosed by multiple psychiatrists, and that really bothered me because I was like, I actually gained such a momentum of being able to speak about mental health conditions and being able to say that I've been in the psych ward twice and nobody being like, oh, what the fuck.
And that's a
she's
brave
mental.
and vulnerable
you,
thing to do.
Yeah,
you need to
Exactly.
remind yourself that, see, most of the time people leaving them comments, they're doing it to purposely try and trigger you.
Yeah, for
Especially
sure.
that type. Don't get me wrong, there is people out there that just don't like you and for whatever
Yeah.
reason have a need to leave a comment about it.
Yeah.
But usually them ones are purposely to try and
Yeah.
trigger you. There's no truth behind it.
Yeah.
There's no, it is their sole purpose is because they want a reaction.
Yeah. And
Do you know what I mean?
that one, I blocked that person because I was like, you're doing too much. Like that's just unkind because see the many people actually have. A wee girl come up to me in the Telegraph building of all places and said that she had BPD as well. And she was like, thank you so much for speaking about that. And that was when it really dawned on me that I know people with BPD, but some people maybe don't. It's borderline personality disorder for people that don't know.
Yeah.
It's one of my list of mental illnesses. But I think maybe she was on her own and not really meant a lot to her that she
Yeah.
realised that somebody from down the road also had it and was speaking about
It's
it. Do you know what I mean?
it's understanding it too. I say all the time, we were actually talking about it earlier, a lot of the time it's people just aren't educated. It's not
Exactly,
even
yeah.
ignorance sometimes, even though it might come across as ignorance when it comes to mental health
Yeah.
conditions, or even we were talking about, like people on the spectrum and stuff like that. But when it comes to mental health, there's a lot of things that appear ignorant, but sometimes it's people just not being educated.
Yeah, for
like when
sure.
when my sister got diagnosed with BPD, I was like, what's these letters?
Yeah.
And see from learning about it, see how much we were able then to understand her better and
Exactly, yeah.
then be able to like resolve issues easier.
Yeah.
Where when people don't understand, even though they might be trying to help, it can actually be a trigger.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
Pure uneducation.
I
you
was
know.
the same.
It is
didn't
people
really
like
know about
yourself
it.
speaking about like what
Yeah.
you've went through and your situation and like
That's what-
yeah.
what's happened with you. It helps educate people about it. But then there is people who be like, oh, I don't feel like that, so that just must not be true. She must be chatting shit. So it's those
Exactly,
sort of
yeah.
people that would trigger the likes of you and comment or like
Yeah.
on stuff like that because it really fucking grinds me up the wrong way whenever people just
Yeah.
have pure ignorance to it.
For
Like,
sure.
oh, whatever.
Yeah.
But like for you speaking out about your situation is so brave, so vulnerable, and it will help so many people
So
out
many
there.
people.
Even people who may not be aware they have like BPD and they maybe listen to
Yeah.
you and be like, oh, actually that
Maybe
happens to me. That happens to me.
yeah.
Maybe she could like
Yeah.
look into it a bit more,
Exactly.
and then that'll help them learn about their own brain and
Yeah.
the way they work, and that may better their own life. So you're helping
Yeah.
people by being vulnerable and speaking out. So you should be so proud of yourself for that.
Thank you.
Yeah,
And
100%.
That I never actually thought about that. Somebody seeing the way I behave and how I have to deal with things and stuff. I never actually thought of the possibility of somebody realizing that they maybe have
Yeah.
BPD because of that. Because that would actually be really good. Because I didn't know much about it. I knew what it was because two of my friends had it, but I hadn't been diagnosed with it yet. And then whenever I was, I actually listened to the audiobook of BPD for Dummies, and then I was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Everything
right,
clicks.
okay,
So
yeah,
that it's, it's basically like social media for people. So
Yeah.
I was diagnosed with ADHD a couple of months ago, and like I know people are like everyone's got ADHD. Nope, everyone does not have ADHD
yeah,
because
everyone doesn't.
from listening to people actually speak about their real life experiences
Yeah.
and being vulnerable about it, I was like, oh my god, that happens to me, that happens to me. And then
Yeah.
I went actually done loads of research from like social media, listening to books and
Yeah.
podcasts and stuff. And I was like, from seeing people being vulnerable and speaking about it, that made me realize that I
Yeah.
have it. So that's similar to what you're doing. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I don't have the balls to speak about ADHD yet because I don't have the
And that's
correct knowledge and
okay,
don't
yeah.
articulate. But when I'm ready, I will speak about my
Yeah.
journey and stuff because it is mad.
Even
Yeah.
the likes of, obviously, we're saying about helping you speaking out will help people realize that maybe they even resonate with why they are how they are.
Yeah.
But even people that maybe have friends or family that are
for
diagnosed,
sure,
because
yeah.
sometimes that's not a comfortable conversation for certain people to have. So
No.
you know, I'm saying about people being uneducated, and they would be saying, well, I've maybe tried to ask my friend that has it and she doesn't want to speak about it. So then you
Yeah.
coming on, sharing your experiences, it's even teaching people that they could be friends with people how to deal with it
Yeah.
and understand it better. So I think it's amazing. I think it's so important.
Yeah.
I
Only
think
if
so
people are
too.
comfortable.
Yeah.
Only if people are
This
comfortable.
is the thing, but I think me talking about it, maybe hopefully if it brings one person comfort or
Yeah.
one person a wee bit, you know, if it helps them in any kind of way or comforts them in any kind of way, if it's just one person on this planet,
Yeah.
then that makes it
Worth
a
it.
lot better. Yeah,
Than
I'm
getting
so
it
glad
trolled or whatever,
to be able
like,
to do that
get
even
rid
for
of
just
them.
one person, because
That's class.
it is such an important thing that we should be speaking about. And people say, you know, like to break the stigma and like talk about like if you're not okay, it's okay to not be okay and but sometimes whenever you do speak about it, people don't necessarily want to hear it. So then
Yeah.
when people are commenting nice things and sharing videos and like relating to it and saying this happened to me, or messaging me to say I just want to say thank you so much because
Yeah.
you've actually helped me, and going, Jesus Christ, this is really getting somewhere.
Powerful,
it has
yeah,
to
for sure.
break the stigma, because people say it's okay not to be okay, but then what does anybody actually do? And
Do
a lot
about
of the
it.
time, yeah, to help that. And
Yeah.
people, there's a lot of shame associated with it.
Mm.
Like I would tell people sometimes, I go, maybe I shared too much there with the wrong person, but if it's not shameful, then
No, you're speaking
why
your
shouldn't we
truth.
speak about it?
You're
Do you
speaking
know
your
what I mean?
truth for
Yeah.
sure. If it's coming from the
See,
heart, then that's it.
when it comes to mental health disorders, no matter what it is, there's nothing shameful about it, because at the end of the day, I think a lot of people do forget, obviously, it's an illness.
Yeah.
It's an illness.
Yeah.
If someone was sitting coughing and coughing and coughing because of the cold,
Yeah.
you wouldn't expect them to be saying sorry or embarrassed about it.
Yeah.
They're sick.
That's what
The
my
same-
cousin would say to me. Yeah, if somebody
It's
had a
the
broken
exact
arm.
same.
and-
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it was
yeah.
you said that to me the other day. It was something along.
Yeah.
Something along like something
I
broke or
probably
something.
did. Like, 'cause
Yeah.
there's been times when I've had to phone into work and say, look, I can't come in today. Like, the demons are demoning. Like, this is hardcore. You know, there's times even whenever I've started new medication and the whole world is spinning, like, I feel like there's a wee man inside my head that's, like, driving my body and I'm not in control. And I've said to my cousin, I need to ring in sick today. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? And he said to me sometimes, you know, like, if you had a broken arm and you had to ring in sick, it would be fine. So you having a mental illness and having to ring in sick is also fine.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
you don't
really
need
good,
to
yeah.
worry about that. And my work understands as well, which is good.
Class. I would love to hear about sort of your journey before you started TikTok, maybe just with life in general, like what you did beforehand, and maybe touch on your like mental health stuff as well, maybe.
Oh God, life in general was a bit of a shit show, to be honest. 2024 has been my best year. I think I'm
I love
actually
that.
I love that.
in my prime right now, which is a wee bit scary
I
to
love
say.
hearing people say
Yeah.
stuff like that. Like they're
Yeah.
in their moment. I have goosebumps. I just love it. I love it.
Thanks.
Love
Love
it.
that for you.
I do. I feel like I'm in my prime because, like, I've talked about this before as well. From early age, like my mummy raised me and my brother on her own. My dad is a loser. He lives in London. We don't associate with him. I met him maybe like twice. He was a dickhead, but he's actually going to send me a cease and desist if I keep talking about him. But I haven't mentioned his name, so I'm like, right, well, try me. I haven't mentioned his name, so I think it's fine. But he was a dickhead. We were raised by a single mother, and then my auntie and my granny and granddad, obviously, and it was a bit of a nightmare. I was racially bullied for years, hardcore. It was in the Andytown news because it got that bad. Then going through school.
Is that where you're from originally?
I'm from West Belfast.
You're West?
Yeah. I'm from West Belfast. It was in the what do you call it? The headline was 7-year-old racist. And then after that, it
Is that
started
how
to-
old you were? Was it a peer?
I think, like they would throw like stones at us. They would spit on us.
What
They would
the
stand
fuck?
against our garden gate and see if they could spit far enough to spit on us. They would spit on my cousin because he was playing with us and like he was white. It was just me and my brother. Then obviously going through school, I was like, you know, like the token black girl. I was the only black friend. So like for years, I think people think I'm very cocky now, but it's just because I've realized that I am actually pretty, because for years I wasn't the beauty standard and I felt like the wee ugly wee friend that used to
What?
float about with everybody. Yeah. So like now I think a lot of people see me as if I'm full of myself, but I'm not really. I'm just like I own who I am.
You're just confident. I wouldn't say you wouldn't
And so
say
you
cocky at
should
all. You
be.
think confident.
So you
because
should
I
Confident
went
in
through
yourself.
years of
And you
shite
are
to then
gorgeous.
really thanks. Went through years of shite thinking I wasn't good enough, and then I got to the stage where my confidence started growing. then, you know, like I have been through some shit. I have been a victim of SA. I've been a victim of domestic violence. My life up until this year was a bit of a shit show. Obviously, I was in the psychiatric unit twice. I will say to people that I was sectioned twice. Technically, I wasn't sectioned because you're there voluntary. But if you want out, they're not going to let you out.
Yeah.
Do you know
Yeah.
what I mean? And if you say no, then they will section you under the Mental Health Act. So it's not like I really have a choice. Do you know what I mean? It's go in voluntary or be sectioned.
Yeah.
But recently, it was, when was it?
And do you think being in them helped you, being in that place?
A bit of both. You know, I made some great friends in there, believe it or not, because there are people in there that understand what you're going through. And we would all sit on the end of our beds and talk about stuff and support each other and all. So some of my best friends I met in the mental health units. But it's also extremely scary. You know, people joke about, oh, like, I need a wee grippy sock holiday. And I'm like, I don't think you really, like, I have seen some things in there that I will not repeat, because I've seen people try to do things to themselves.
okay,
I've heard people screaming at 3 o'clock in the morning. Like, it's
There's
not a
trauma
place.
that comes from inside
sure.
there, even though it's there to help.
Oh, for sure,
There's-
yeah. I'm hoping at this point, because the last time I was in there was 2 years ago when my granddad died. That was the second time I was in. I couldn't cope with my granddad dying. And then went in there, came out, things slowly started to, you know, it was a bit of a shit show, slowly started to get better to where I'm at this year, because I think I met new people and started embracing who I actually am rather than hiding who I am, because I'm loud and I'm out there and I'm, you know, sometimes people think, oh, she can't be anxious because she's so out there. But it's like, if I allow who I actually am to come out of myself, then I can be myself. Whereas sometimes I'm at my house and I'm like, can't do that today. Oh, can't do that today. So people don't get it. But now I'm just at a stage where I'm trying not to give a fuck. I've got, you know, I'm doing pretty well personally, meeting new people, trying new things like this. Do you know what I mean? Whereas before, I was miserable. I was at my worst self. But now
It's a vicious cycle when you're like that. Do you not think, like you're saying, you're pushing yourself to do new things, meet new people, try new things, and that's what's getting you out of the cycle you were in before.
Yeah.
And that's probably where you're finding these positive experiences.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So then you're getting the good hormones, you're getting the good feelings,
Exactly,
and that's the cycle that will hopefully continue.
I hope so.
Where when you're in the negative cycle, but you've done the steps to get out of that, which is an amazing thing.
I had to drag myself up.
Yeah,
I
you've
had
grafted,
to trail myself out of my bed. At one point, I remember me and my cousin joke about it all the time. There was a couple of weeks where all I did was order Subways to my house because I wouldn't leave the house. I would get, like, I used to smoke nearly a full packet a day, and I would get the co-op to deliver fags to my house because I wouldn't walk out the front door. I had to drag myself out of the depths of my despair. But
and what do you
I knew
think?
so
What do you
much
think
better.
helped you get out from being yourself? Do you reckon?
I had to advocate for myself. I think because my mummy would have advocated for me a lot. And I had to start doing that myself. So I had to, you know, call, like, you know, all the mental health services and be like, I've been on this list for so long, I need new medication, my GP won't give me it, I need help. And, you know, actually melt people's heads, melt receptionist heads to be like, no, hold on, I need
which
help.
is bad,
Yeah.
you have to do that, but you do.
That's what I was gonna say,
You do, yeah. And it was the medication that actually really turned things around for me, because I am now on a medication that I refused to take for ages, but I didn't actually know that it was the medication that was going to help me. And I wouldn't have refused if somebody had told me, you know, I think you should actually try this, because I'm not
You're not a
medically-
doctor, you're not going to know the ins and
exactly.
yeah.
If somebody had just turned around to me and said, no, that one might actually help you, then I would have went, oh, okay, no worries, I'll take that. But yeah, I'm so grateful for medication. I'm so grateful for meeting new people and trying new things. I think, I was starting to get back to normal life routine, taking new medication and putting myself out there and meeting new people, saying yes to things like this. And I have said yes to a lot of things recently. And it has brought me some very good times, very good vibes.
I love that. I really do find as well, whenever so obviously you said you hid your true self away for such a long time, that I feel like, obviously we're not the same journey or whatever, but for me, when I hid who I was, I was really like not in a good headspace myself. But once I started showing up as my authentic self, that's when I started attracting the right people. That's when I started attracting all these positive experiences. And that's when life started getting so much better. So once you show up as your authentic self, honestly, life just gets so much better.
It does,
really
for
does.
sure. And somebody said to me the other week, it was a troll commenting with a faceless account, she tries too hard. I don't think they meant to reply to my comment. I think they meant to reply
Send
to
it
the
to
person
someone
I
or
was talking
something.
to. But I replied being like, what do you mean? Like, you don't know me in real life, so how would you know if I'm like this in real life and on the internet? And they were like, well, you should just be yourself. And I was like, that's exactly what
That's
I'm
what
doing.
you're
That was
doing.
why
You can
I
see
started
that.
making TikToks to be myself. Even if I am dancing around my kitchen and screaming at the top of my lungs, people were like, why does she scream so much? And I'm like, because I need to get stuff off my fucking chest. And it helps me. And like, see, whenever there's no camera, I am dancing around my kitchen at 3 o'clock in the morning with my dog. Like, I am remembering if I can do the fucking hold down, throw down. Do you know what I mean? Like, I just be having gigs. And I think because I am so out there, people go, is this authentic? But like, sometimes I wish it wasn't, because I know I'm a fucking melter. But I am just being myself.
And I love that. It really shines through, genuinely. Like, I love it. I love it. Authenticity is class. Oh my God, you've been on a journey, like, haven't you?
I really, really have, yeah. But it's finally starting to get good and stay good. There were times when it would go up and then it would come back down again. And I would go, fuck shit, I'm going to end it all. But then it's come up and it's stayed up. Don't get me wrong, I still have good days and bad days. But
which is normal.
I'm getting through it,
Yeah, completely normal.
Yeah.
But the thing is, hopefully, even now, say you did go through a wee bad period, I just hope you know you've been in this wee stage for so long now, so that's always achievable again. So it's like if you have a couple of wee shit period, you're like, but I can get back to her.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Hope so, because this is the longest it's ever stayed good for. So fingers crossed.
Class.
Yeah, I'll just come back to being good if it gets shit again. But
I really do feel like life is like a roller coaster, and like it will make you have these bad patches where things are going wrong, life gets shit, you feel sad, you don't want to do anything. But then I also feel like then life's going to get good again, so when it is good, you can really appreciate how good it is at that time. Do you know what I mean?
I think what I need to do is, once I lie down and stay down, that's the end of it all. All goes to shit. But if I lie down for a wee minute and then get back up, you know, like that TikTok sound, like you need to get back up and get on with yourself. Like you need to get on with it. You need to live your life. That's me. I'm like, you can't stay down. You have to get back up, and like
there's too much to enjoy, too much to see, too many people to make. It's a mindset thing, and it's, do you know what I mean? It's battling, especially when there's mental illness involved. It's one thing to just be like completely healthy and still have ups and downs, but when you've something else, there's so much more to take into consideration. But like, you've done it. You're able to sit here and say you're in such a good headspace, and long may it continue.
Thank you.
Long may it continue, girl.
Thank you so much.
I would love to ask, do you have like, say someone who is listening to this right now and they're really struggling with their mental health, they've been where you were, and they were like, they don't know what to do, would you give them, what advice would you give to that person? Maybe like the younger version of yourself, for example.
Do you know the advice that I always, when people, I'm so glad you've asked me this, because I always like think somebody's going to ask me that one day and I don't know what to say. So my granddad, God rest him, is my favourite person in the whole world, and he always would have said, like, see if I was struggling with something, or like even just a silly wee test in school or anything, even if it wasn't important, he would say, well, did you do your best? And I would say, yeah. And he would say, well, that's all that mattered. But sometimes your best looks different. So I have a manager in work, and I love her dearly, because she'll say, sometimes your best is 100%, but other days your best is 40% or 30%. If you think, oh, I didn't give it 100% today, but your 100% for that day was the 40%, because that was all you had. So if you give it that 40%, if you give it that 30%, if you give it that 12%, and the best that you did was blink and breathe that day, that is completely fine, because there will come a day when that changes. And I can't believe I'm actually able to even say that, because there was so many days I thought, so many years I thought, this isn't going to change. But it will. If you do your best and you give that 30% or 40%, if your best is just blinking and breathing, that's fine.
Oh my God, that's so good. I love that.
So lovely.
It gives me goosebumps.
So lovely. And it's probably like you're saying, probably when your wee granddad was saying this when you were younger, you were probably at stages going dead on, where you're actually able now to appreciate his advice.
I implement that every day.
And actually use it.
Yeah.
Love
I'm going to start using that. I love that.
No, do. Yeah, please do. Spread it around. Actually, it's got me through my worst days. I come home and I go, didn't really achieve much today, and then I go, hold on, Charlotte, you only had 18% today. You had 18%. That's all right.
No, I love that.
For a few weeks there, I was like on a low vibe, like I wasn't feeling my best, and I was like getting up, and all I was doing for the day was going to the gym and like not doing much, and I was feeling like shit. I was like, why can't I do anything on my to-do list? But now you're saying that, I'm like, right, I got up, I woke up, went to the gym.
That's a big deal. That's productive. Me and my cousin always say progress is better than no grass. Going to the gym is progress. That's good.
For me, that's extreme progress.
No, me too. But
I mean, you do loads of work. I didn't do any work, but
if going to the gym is just something that you were able to do that day, but you didn't get other stuff done, well, that was a good thing that you were able to do, so you should be proud of yourself.
No, I love that.
For sure.
Love it.
So we always do a wee section. It's called Wait Till You Hear the Crack, where someone tells like a mad story or something crazy that's happened in your life. Do you have any like stories that you want to maybe share for Wait Till You Hear the Crack?
Something funny, whatever.
Anything at all.
I have one story that I will be able to tell. It's something that's appropriate enough to tell, because a lot of my mad stories are highly inappropriate to be telling in the public eye here. But one of them would be, okay, whenever we go out on work nights out, it's absolutely fucking crazy. Like, everybody is fucked, right? So we always end up in Kremlin. It's the best night ever, but we all just end up so mangled. And like, you know, when you're buying people shots and doubles, and like there was one night I had way too many double vodka Red Bulls, but we were all in Kremlin because somebody was having their leaving day. And I was fucked, dancing around the place. One of the bouncers comes over and goes to me, "You're too fucked, you need to leave, you're too drunk. I'm holding my friend's hand, I have no idea what's going on. We're getting trailed out of the club, and I'm just like, and she turns around and goes, "Shall you're too drunk, you need to act sober, like we're getting fucked out." And I was like, "Oh right, are we? Oh right." And I turn around and I go, "Hold on, Mr. Bouncer Man, come here." I start doing that, you know, when I don't even know if I can still do it. You rub your belly and tap your head. I start saying A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you know, like to be like, I'm not drunk, I can say the alphabet. So he gets his manager over, and his manager is like, "What the fuck are you talking about? She's completely fine." Because I'm like, no, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. I'm like, I can say the alphabet. What are you talking about? How am I fucked? Make a complete cunt out of him by pretending I'm sober, but I was very fucked, right? So then later on, we end up, he leaves us, lets us stay in the club at Scran. Later on, we end up in, there's like the room that has like a stage on it. It's like a wee tiny stage, like a wee platform. And it's like, the whole club is like beach themed, so there's like sand on the floor.
What, in the Kremlin?
Yeah,
what?
There's sand on the floor and all. It was a whole thing, right? So then there's like drag queens up doing their thing on the stage, right? And they were having competitions. The competition was a wet t-shirt competition. So they have a pool on the stage, a paddling pool, and there's like all these like buckets of water. And before I know it, I'm up on the stage. I didn't even ask to be picked. I just get up on the stage, right? Bear in mind, I'm wearing a white dress. So there's me and this other fella. And they're like, right, take it. You're doing the wet t-shirt competition then, right? I'm wearing
the wet t-shirt competition?
Right, wet t-shirt competition. He does his thing, right? He throws a bucket of water on himself. He does a wee bit of a dance. I get up there. I do a full routine. There's a video of it somewhere. It's the cringiest thing
Oh my God,
ever,
I need to see this.
It's so funny. I will try and find it. I think it's on my Facebook mail because somebody sent it to me. I get up, throw a bucket of water on myself. I'm dancing around. I think I'm in the paddling pool. And then afterwards, I won. What did I win? 100 like wee tokens, and it was like they were like £1 each, and you could spend them in like Union Street, Kremlin, all these different places.
No way.
Yeah.
So you won like £100 in drinks?
No, literally.
Unreal.
So then me and my friend went and got jugs at Union Street one night. It was the best.
I thought you meant straight after. I was like, fucking hell, you must be steaming.
Afterwards, my friend comes in. I'm on the stage. She's with the bouncer, right? When I get off the stage, I am soaking.
Is it see-through?
Like, yeah, it's see-through. I'm dripping to bits, right? And she comes over to me and grabs me and goes, "I'm getting kicked out. We need to go." And I'm like, well, okay, I'm soaking now anyway. She had thrown up on the bouncer.
To try to kick you out?
She threw up on the bouncer and went, "You can't kick me out on my own. I'm a girl on my own. Don't leave me on my own." And he was like, "Right, fair enough." So then he was like, "Right, we need to find your friends." Because she was like, "Most of my work is in there. Like, please, we'll find somebody." But then she went in and looked up on the stage and went, "That's my friend. I can't leave. That's my friend." So then I got off the stage and I was like soaking. And she was like, "We need to go." And I was like, "Okay, we go."
That bouncer definitely when she kicked you out before you
literally.
She
threw up on him and everything. I was like, "How did you throw up on the bouncer?" But yeah, it was a good night. The hangover was bad.
I say so. Where is
here,
it?
But at least you won the £100.
£100
no, I know. It was the
worth
best.
it?
Yeah, fuck, it didn't go out after that. No, it was a couple of weeks later.
What is it you do for work?
I work in retail. I tend to not tell people like on the internet exactly where I work because loads of people
Oh my God, yes,
know.
you did tell me this because you were talking about the video that I made.
Yeah, people have like actually come into my work and asked me like to take photos, and I'm like, dude, like I'm working right now. Like I wouldn't be allowed to do that. Like also I don't take like photos in my work uniform, obviously. So, like I feel really rude whenever people ask me. I'd be outside vaping and they're like, "Can we get a photo?" And I'm like, "Sorry, not in my work."
It's not worth it. You see so many things of people on social media that have like got in trouble with work for even just showing a badge, have got sacked. It's not worth it.
Dara Green was on this podcast. Do you know Dara Green from TikTok?
Yeah.
He was on this podcast a couple of months ago, and he was telling us.
Costa he got in trouble
so
with?
he got in trouble from Costa because he made TikToks in his uniform. But to be fair, his TikToks was bad. He basically said something along the lines of. It was obviously joking, like dark humor, but it was something along the lines of like putting pins on like people's seats or something. Something along the lines of that.
I actually do. I remember that. Yeah, no, I remember. I said to my manager whenever I started, a lot of people are commenting where I work. Like, I don't know if I'm going to get in trouble for this. And she was like, as long as like you're not seeing, because I was like, I'm not overly broad friendly. Do you know there would be people my work who would maybe put up like wee reels and stuff of like, "Oh, this is what I'm wearing and this is what I got it," and like da. And I'm like, fucking this and fucking that and, you know, talking shit. So I'm like, I'm not overly brand friendly. Am I going to get in trouble for this? And she was like, no, like, I mean, that's dead on as long as you're stating no affiliation with the company. She was grand with it.
Perfect.
So I was like, right, I'm stating no affiliation, no photos of me uniform.
Yeah, definitely
Keeping it that way.
Keep it private for sure.
Yeah.
That's a good story, to be fair. Should we move on to dilemmas?
Oh, yes.
So this is our last session. This is like tell us your crack. So people who listen to the podcast be sending maybe their dilemmas or funny stories or anything.
I'm excited.
So someone has said this about you. She is a legend and honestly the most realist and honest person on TikTok. Even if you don't like what she has to say, she will say it anyways.
Yeah. I love it.
That's my favourite compliment when people call me real. Like,
you are. I love it.
Thank you.
My boyfriend is football obsessed. He is a season ticket holder. It's my birthday next month and there's a football game this Saturday I'd want to celebrate. He hasn't mentioned my birthday once or doing anything for it. Oh. I feel like I can't be the one to ask, can we do something for my own birthday? Help.
Oh, I'd be livid.
Yeah,
so
I would be.
That's not good.
I'd be livid.
I was saying this about my own birthday recently, where if I feel like the people that I think we care about me aren't giving me the attention that I feel like I want them that day, I'd be raging. Especially if it was a boyfriend or a partner. I'd be like, you better fucking make this day about me, bitch.
I get what you mean, because then obviously the easy answer, because I would be like, what are we doing for my birthday? Because you're not going to football. But you don't really want to be the one to have to suggest it.
Yeah.
See, the season ticket, what's the crack with that? Is that around the birthday? Is that on the
basically
birthday?
the football that he's obsessed with football, and there's going to be a football match on the day of her birthday.
Oh, on the day of her... Oh, no. See, I wouldn't want to bring it up either because I would be like, no, I'm going to like you.
Should.
Yeah, I need to say hi. You're actually going to
because that would prove to you, is he going to fucking prioritise football over the person he's meant to love?
At the same time, then you don't want to ruin your own birthday by leaving it to that day.
Plans, well, can this person make plans with their friends or something? Maybe. Yeah, I would make plans with my friends, and then if the boyfriend was to say something close.
See, I'm such a loudmouth. I couldn't. I get what you mean. I am such a loudmouth. I would literally be like, what are we doing for my birthday?
I think I would be the same. I think
and if
I would
the answer
be like
wasn't a straight away reply with plans and there was a talk of football, I would like...
See, I would support that, but I just am so...
It should be them suggesting
you need to prove to me that you actually give a fuck. So I'm going to see how this pans out. But just in order to not ruin my birthday, I would say to my friends, right,
stand by.
We're going to do something. But
he should definitely, maybe he's going to surprise you. Who knows? Maybe you're just getting in your own head. Maybe he actually is going to surprise you and plan this amazing birthday for you. Because he hasn't mentioned anything.
That's the issue. If you're a loudmouth like me, that would be like, then I'd ruin my own surprise. But I always end up ruining my own surprise. Always.
I reckon if it was me, I would just be, I'd be like, what are we doing for our birthday? And be like, oh, I've got something planned. Don't worry about it. But see his reaction, be like, oh, there's football on that day. Be like, excuse me?
Yes, no, do that. Yeah,
I think
agree.
maybe do that. Yeah, fair. Right, you got this, girl. Happy fucking birthday, bitch.
Happy birthday.
Enjoy, regardless.
We'll come with you on your birthday instead. If your boyfriend slacks off, invite us.
I love it. Hit us up. We can party.
We can party. Oh my god, you know that you were talking earlier about being triggered by comments? I got triggered so much the other day. Someone commented on one of my videos because I was talking about, I was basically saying how I really don't like people using the R word and the trolling, which is obviously like the normal thing that should be happening. A lot of like men were commenting abuse. One of the guys got literally like hundreds of likes on this one comment. I was like, oh, he must be great crack at a party. And I got so triggered by it because I was like, excuse me, I am the great crack at a party.
Do you define great crack as the R word? Like it says a lot about you.
Someone did comment that. Someone was like, sorry, I think people can be great crack without being like being a cunt.
Derogatory language.
Literally.
No. You are great crack at a party. Fuck him.
Literally. I'm like, I go to good parties. You wouldn't be at any parties that I go to. You wouldn't be allowed.
Dread to see the parties he's attending.
Literally. Here's another one for you. But should we just like get all the good comments for you?
Nice comments.
Just
want to say, oh my god!
Just want to say,
I love you, girl. The content you make is the realest and such a comfort. Fave TikToker ever. Keep being you, queen.
Oh, that's so cute.
You're getting all the really nice comments. Love it. So I've been best friends with this girl for years and I absolutely love her to bits, but she has such a big money problem. She is one of the most stingiest people I know. She once asked me for 25p and I just laughed. She has a bill for everyone on her notes app for tiny little things like a drink. There's so much more to this than I can fit in this little box, but just for the guest, me, 25... The guest? Just. Me... What is 25M me? 25 male and my now ex-girlfriend 24-year-old female.
That's like the way they type on Reddit. That used to confuse me.
Yeah. Have broken up but because she decided to have sex with her 57-year-old manager. That's two different stories.
Yeah, I was going to say, hold on. Is this the girl with the money problems that had sex with her 57-year-old? Is he a sugar daddy? Can you send him my way?
I was like, wait, we need to go back. I'm not keeping up.
Pause game.
That's two different stories.
Oh God.
I'm sorry. Right. So.
Holy smokes! I was like, surely this is.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, my brain, this is overloaded.
Right. I'm gonna skip the money one. I would say. Stingy friends, what would you say?
Yeah, like that's not cool, especially you're keeping track in your notes app.
Yeah.
Like me and my cousin will do, like you bought the coffee,
You pay for
so
that, I
I'll
pay
get
for that.
that.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And
But there
that's
is
the way
some
it always
people just
is.
out there as stingy, but I always try and give the benefit of the doubt with things like that because I'm so quick to be like, oh, people are tight around money, like just. But there could be a reason there for it. There could be something. Has someone stole off them before? Is there been family issues with money? Is there maybe issues with debt?
Yeah.
So then I always give the benefit of the doubt and try not to be too harsh on it.
Actually, that's fair. I never thought about
I don't know,
that
but I just
before.
think sometimes I've had friends who I've been in situations where I've been traveling and I have had like 40 quid in my bank account, like no money at all. And like if my friend asked me to go to the shop, I'd be like, oh, what do you want? I'll buy them a bar of chocolate.
Yeah.
But then this friend could literally have like thousands in the bank. If they go to the shop to buy you a bar of chocolate, they would ask you for the £1 10p. Do you know what I mean? I'm like stingy people like that.
Yeah.
They have money and it's just like annoying. But just depends on the situation because I don't know her backstory either.
It depends on the situation, but if it was somebody that like
You were close enough.
if
And
they
if it was
have
constant.
money, and like if it's constant, because obviously this person will know whether they have had debt issues or somebody steal off them, or if they have money. So depending on what it is, you need to give them. If it's like somebody has debt issues or blah blah blah, like Shannon was saying, then okay, you can kind of still be friends with them, but just
Maybe set
see
boundaries.
how it goes. But if it's somebody and you know that they,
Do you know what I
have
would always
money,
even
then-
just say? Always just suggest them paying your own way.
yeah.
Like, see, honestly, like, even I would always say to people, say you've got a friend, you always go out and you're like, I'll pay the taxi, I'll get drinks.
Yeah.
We actually do that, and it always is fine.
Yeah.
But sometimes you do hear of people, like, then just not paying the rest of the night and getting everything paid for them, whatever.
Exactly.
I would always suggest to that type of friend then just be like, you pay your stuff, I pay my stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
But
yeah.
you can
That's the
catch
easy
on
way
after a while.
around
You might happen the first few times, but if it keeps continuously happening, you need to set boundaries for yourself. Do you know what I mean? You can't keep happening.
And is this person important enough to be in your life? Like, is it like their best friend can't live
Yes,
without
that's the
them?
thing
Or is
either.
this like more of a close
That always
acquaintance? If
makes
it's
a
more of a
difference.
close acquaintance,
Distance.
you don't need that shit.
Yeah, you don't need that in your
distance
life.
Myself.
So the one that I was reading out second, I thought it was part 2 of the last story. I don't know why, but it's actually just one box. I think it's quite funny. There's so much more to this that I can fit in a little box, but just for the gist. I'm a 25-year-old male and my now ex-girlfriend is a 24-year-old female. We have broken up because she decided to have sex with her 57-year-old manager. I found out, so that I then slept with her ex-boyfriend. I am bisexual to get my own back. So worth it. Right, that's not really a dilemma. It's like kind of a story.
Yeah.
But fucking hell. So she slept with her 57-year-old boss. So he had sex with her ex-boyfriend. Both of them must be bi. That's mental.
See, to be fair, well, my thing is, because I hate cheating, so that obviously
Me
the
too.
first person was cheating. So then I feel like you deserve everything you get.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
I don't know in that situation that I would do somebody back. Like
Yeah.
I don't know that I would go and like fuck their friend. Like because I hate cheating, I'm very, very against it. But do you know what? In that situation, I'm like, well, you both did each other's back, so
Yeah.
move on with your lives, and like at least you got them back.
Yeah.
Yeah, frigate.
If
Couldn't
you wanted to
personally
get
do
them
it,
back,
but
you got them back.
because I'm always just like,
Yeah, I
see
don't
if
know if
someone
I
was to do me wrong, I'm just like, something will get them back. I don't need to be the one to do it.
Yeah,
because
karma's a
see,
bitch.
see,
So
if
just see what-
I just find, see when you do something wrong just to get your own back to something, you've still lived the fact that you've done something.
Yeah.
And I'd rather not put myself through that. I don't think it's worth
Yeah.
it just to get someone back. Something else will get them back.
I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
Is the other ex-boyfriend openly bi, or is he like, did you target him? Be like, right, I'm gonna sleep with her fucking ex-boyfriend.
No, yeah, right enough.
Do you know what I
Everybody
mean?
must be bi. Yeah.
I love it. I assume everyone's bi until they're proven straight or gay.
I hope everybody's bi.
If someone says they're straight, I believe they're straight. But I feel like everyone could be bi until proven straight. That's the way I like to look at it. Rather than being straight until you're proven LGBTQ.
Yeah.
I should say everyone's proven bi
Yeah.
until they're proven straight or
Yeah,
gay.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
I like that, yeah.
I like that better. So go on the boy. Fucking hell,
We'll do
Shaq,
one
nice
more. What
boyfriend.
time is it?
Yeah,
yeah,
sure
one more.
Yeah, one more.
Up to you.
This is a good question. How on earth do I become less codependent in my relationship and learn how to get over my anxious attachment style, and how to handle things better when things don't go my way and get over things rather than hold on to them? So much asked here, so if you want to split it up in 2 questions, that's okay. Genuinely think you're so wonderful. Full of so wonderful advice, and I genuinely love listening to you both. You're amazing. Thank you. Cheers, girl.
That is heavy-winded.
That's a big question. That could be a full
That is.
podcast episode. We could probably I reckon we should get like a relationship, like professional, like a
Yeah,
relationship like
that would
coach.
be a good
Come on the
idea.
podcast. I think we should do. I know one
Yeah.
from Northern Ireland. We could probably get her on.
Yeah, that is a heavy-winded thing because there
Yeah.
also is things around that. Like everyone, you can't really give a general advice for that because you would give different advice to different types of people.
Exactly, yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Yeah.
That's a really heavy-winded question. I think we need to get like an expert on that. We can actually
I just need to bring in the professionals for that one.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
I think we probably give it a go, but it takes ages and we're running out of time. Right, we'll finish off with this wee random story and then we will bounce. So I went to a posh school in Belfast in quotation marks and caught my English teacher having an affair with another English teacher whilst I was in town.
Oh my God.
I got A's for the rest of my GCSEs. Yes, go on the gal.
Do you know I have a friend that went to Liverpool and became a teacher in England and blah blah. She doesn't do it anymore, but she did. And she was telling me, do you know when you're in like primary school, she was primary school, and you always had things like I used to be like, we all used to think like that teacher fancies that teacher and that teacher fancies that teacher.
Yeah, we did
but a lot of the time they were married and all, but like you still had suspicions. She was telling me she's been in a lot of schools and placement, blah blah blah. A lot of the time the kids' intuitions are right.
Oh, really?
There is a lot of weird stuff goes on between teachers in every school she's been in. Teacher nights out and blah, blah, blah. Christmas parties. So the stories that she was able to tell me from primary school teachers, I was like, I knew that my P5 teacher and my P7 teacher fancied each other.
I have to think back to all the wee stories
just in case
had in my head to
I
see
can't
if
even
any of
think.
them were accurate. Yeah.
Just in case anyone's listening, I made up the grades there, but there was definitely teachers that I was like, they definitely
they love each
always
other,
beside each other. So she was saying like there's drama there because obviously now we are the age of teachers. You're like, well, they're fucking bound to be.
Yeah.
100%. Oh my God, I see teachers and I'm like, you're absolutely mental. How are you teaching kids?
No,
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I see people who I'm like friendly with, and I'm like, you're a teacher.
Yeah, literally. I guess so weird when people our age actually have like actually like look after people and like be like doctors now. I'm like, I feel like we're like not that age.
Neil Coogan has said a similar thing to that on TikTok about how doctors are all mad and
Doctors
getting into each other.
Doctors
and all.
are, and a lot of doctors are gay as well. Doctors are crazy.
Well,
you
we
wouldn't
talked
even...
about this before because if you think about it, right, everyone on this planet is just a person, no matter what you do. Does not define what you are like. Because someone had went on social media and said a thing about like all influencers being shallow, right, and all influencers being this, and I went, there's solicitors that are shallow, there's vets that are shallow, there are such and such. Just because someone does a certain job doesn't mean they're a certain way. So it's like the same situation for people being mad. You're going to have mad pilots. You're going to have mad. You're going to have mad MPs. Probably all of them.
It didn't really dawn on me until I was an adult. Like I'm like, whoa, yeah, because I'm friends with these people now. They're crazy.
I love it. Yeah. But yeah, that's the dilemma's answered. Thank you so much for sending it in. Is there anything else you would like to touch on or talk about?
I think I've probably mentioned quite a lot of stuff.
No, I really enjoyed that.
I'm
It was
just
a great
happy to
wee
be
chat.
here. Yeah, I'm fabulous.
Oh my God, I love having you on. I literally, when we were speaking on I was like, right, you need to go on the podcast class. And you should be so proud of yourself. Honestly, keep doing what you're doing.
100%.
You're helping so many people just from being you. And yeah, you're class. But yeah, thank you so much.
Do you want to give a wee shout out to your social media platforms just?
Oh yes, my social media platforms, they're all the same. So my Instagram, which I'm starting to use again, and my TikTok, it's at Shade Fairley. So ShadeFairley. There's no underscores, there's no capital letters,
Just
no
the
nothing.
name.
Yeah,
just
amazing.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming on, and thank you all so much for
That was
listening.
great.
And we will see you. I know, actually, you know what? We might have a wee bit of a break because I'm away on
get my
holiday,
boobs done.
and then she's getting her tatas done, so she might not be able to come in and record with her new boobies.
Because they'll be way out here and I'll be pushing the mic out. I'm only joking.
So we might have a wee bit of a break for a few weeks after this one. We'll see. We'll try and get back in as quick as possible.
Yep.
But yeah, thank you so much for listening,
Thank
and
you.
we love you. And
Love
we'll see
you.
you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.